everyone, I'm the Flute guy and welcome to another session for Flute for Mental Health. Today I'm going to do things a little differently. As you can see, I'm not wearing a kurta today, I'm wearing a blazer and a t-shirt, and the reason why I decided to do something different today is because I'm going to do Flute for Mental Health for a specific theme. And today I'm going to explore the theme of identity. And identity is something that's really important to me. I am half Indian, half Sri Lankan. And so growing up, I had to deal with these kind of two different cultures, which are different, but also share some similarities. And especially in the Carnatic industry and the musical industry that I grew up with, there are differences that are associated with being a Sri Lankan or being an Indian. I won't get into it too much, but there are differences, and I had to grow up with this kind of merging of these two cultures, and I had to kind of identify myself as Sri Lankan and Indian. And it's like a whole thing. But then in addition to that, adding to that mix was the fact that I was born in Australia. I was born in Sydney. And then I moved to London when I was 4 years old. So I grew up in the UK. And so I'm technically British Asian. And there is a huge community of British Asians. But then within that, I was half Sri Lankan and half Indian. So I had to grapple with all these kind of different identities that I had. And so I wasn't fully British and I wasn't fully Indian. I wasn't fully Sri Lankan either. And wasn't even, not really Australian. And so I had to kind of grapple with these kind of different identities. And I had a conversation with someone recently who was from the US, but their parents are from India. And so they had to also kind of go through a similar kind of process of trying to identify themselves in relation to multiple cultures. And so today, I want to kind of explore this musically. And let me know if you are someone who has to identify with multiple cultures. Are your parents of two different backgrounds? Are you mixed, or are you an immigrant in a different country from your country of origin? Let me know if you can identify with these kind of feelings. And these kind of feelings, you know, this identity crisis, as it were, has an impact on mental health. And growing up, I did find it quite hard to kind of identify with certain cultures, and so that did have an effect on my mental health personally. So let me know if you've gone through something similar, if you can identify or can relate to this. So let me know in the comments below. But yeah, as I said, today is Flute for Mental Health. And so I'm going to be playing not necessarily a rag, but a scale. I'm going to be exploring the blues scale, which goes sa ga ma ma pa ni sa sa ni pa ma ma ga sa. And it's quite it's the basis of a lot of jazz music, because jazz came from blues largely. And so I'm going to be exploring this blues scale, but I'm going to Carnaticize it. I'm going to make it a bit Indian. And the reason why I'm doing this is because I guess the blues scale is one way for me to identify with Western culture, and then me Indianizing that is my way of kind of bringing my own country of origin and aspects of that into this culture, and kind of bridging these two sides of my life. So I hope that by playing this, perhaps you can identify with this kind of internal struggle that a lot of us go through. So without further ado, I'm just going to explore the blues scale. I'm going to also add a few anya swaras, like notes that don't necessarily belong in the blues scale, and explore similar rags like maybe jog or vargadishwari, just going off the top of my head. So not only am I going to add Carnatic elements, I might add a few Hindustani elements, North Indian elements, as well as South Indian elements. And I'm just going to take you on this journey with me as I explore my own identity as a British, Indian, Sri Lankan, Australian-born, French passport-holding person. So without further ado, Indian blues for Flute for Mental Health. Thank you. Thank you so much for tuning in, guys. That was Flute for Mental Health, and this time I played an Indian kind of version of the blues scale. I really hope you enjoyed it, and the reason why I played it is because this is me trying to identify with different kind of cultures that I grew up with. And I really hope you enjoyed it, guys. Let me know if you want to hear different kind of thematic based Flute for Mental Health sessions. So, things like identity. I can't really think of any off the top of my head, but if you can think of some, please let me know, and I'll try to explore those in future sessions. Also, if you have any ideas for what other kind of clothes I can wear to make it different and interesting, let me know. Any of you fashionistas out there, please let me know. I'd love to incorporate your ideas in whatever way I can to make these sessions more engaging for you guys. And I played a multitude of different ragas there, so let me know if you could identify some of them in the comments below if you're familiar with Indian ragas, and I'll let you know if I did play them. And yeah, thank you so much for tuning in. If you made it this far, I really appreciate you guys watching this video, and if you really liked it, especially this Indian blues Flute for Mental Health, please share it with anyone who you think might be interested, who might never have heard of this before. So yeah, please do feel free to share it with your friends if you're watching this on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, wherever. And as always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll be back next week for another session of Flute for Mental Health. As always, have a wonderful week. Take care. Bye.